Hello everyone, welcome back to TuesMagique. Today's article is one of the shortest that I have ever read on The Economist. It is entitled Accent Grave. Even if it's short, we're still going to learn quite a lot from it, not just about words and expressions, but also general French accents knowledge, French geography, as well as Parisian snobbery, which is pretentious but interesting at the same time. Also, if you're interested in getting over 100 podcasts or videos or articles on my past reviews of The Economist, please feel free to scan this QR code. Right, let's start from the title. It's not just an English title, accent grave. It is actually a French word which indicates one of the 5 accents of the French language. Donc en français, on a 5 accents qui sont accent grave, accent aigu, accent tréma, accent circonflexe, et aussi pour la lettre C, on a C cétille. So that's for the French accent. And then for the French word order, as you could see that the word grave, which is an adjective, comes after the noun accent. This is the word order in French, but not in English. And then let's take a look at the subtitle. Outstated Parisian snobbery towards regional accent. For the word snobbery, you could also, it could remind you of the word snobbish. Oh, he's such a snob, to say he's really pretentious and obnoxious. In the first paragraph, no sooner had Jean Castex been appointed than Parisians seized upon their new prime minister's most distinctive feature, his regional accent. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, seized upon, which actually means take advantage of. But what about this regional accent? Let's take a look at France TV5.
Pour votre compréhension, nous avons sous-titré l'extrait qui suit.
Les priorités devront donc évoluer. Les méthodes devront donc être adaptées.
Born in the Gascon town of Vic-Fezensac, this place locates right here where the yellow spot locates. Actually, I have found it in the France map, and you could see Toulouse et Paris right here. Mr. Castex speaks with a southwestern twang. A twang is a nasal sound, which is sometimes obvious and frequently used in some dialects or accents. Locals take pride in the accent that sings, which stems from Occitan. I remember my old French teacher told me, "Oh, il est vraiment chantant," which stems from Occitan. Occitan is also the name of a brand which is famous for its hand cream. Comes from, takes its root in or emanate from the local language. Yet Parisian mockery was thinly disguised, which means it's obvious. People are not trying to hide the fact that they are trying to take the piss out of Jean Castex. A Paris Match journalist called it a gravelly post-match rugby accent. Gravelly here means it's deep or rough sounding. A broadcaster said that his accent was more commonly reserved for rugby commentators or weathermen. How can you categorize people simply because of his or her accents and put it into different walks of life? That's ridiculous. Next one. Few members of the Parisian elite hang on to their regional accents if they once have one. Hang on to, which is like retain or stick to their regional accents. When Jules Ferry, a Third Republic education minister, imposed French as the sole language in schools in the 1880s, nursery teachers were told to correct the flaws in pronunciation or local accents. So right here, Jules Ferry, as we could tell from Third Republic, he was active in the 1880s, and he imposed that we should have a standardized language in the whole of France. That's why people started to correct flaws in different dialects and accents. The current France that we see is the Fifth Republic already. Next one, dropping a northern ch'ti accent or southern drawl is often a prerequisite for survival under Paris's unforgiving social codes. Ch'ti accent and southern drawl are perfectly elaborated in this movie.
Vous voulez pas qu'on aille montrer votre mâchoire à un médecin?
Non, j'ai rien, Juice.
Je vous assure, vous vous exprimez d'une façon très très particulière. Hein.
Parce que je parle ch'ti, c'est ça?
Pardon?
Je parle ch'timi, quoi.
Oh putain, c'est ça le fameux ch'timi.
Où sont les meubles? Hein? Où en bas? C'est pas meublé?
Ah ben, l'ancien directeur, il est parti avec, hein.
Pourquoi il est parti avec les meubles?
Parce que c'est peut-être les chiens.
Quel chien?
Les meubles.
Attends, je comprends pas là.
Les meubles chez les chiens.
Les meubles chez les chiens, mais qu'est-ce que les chiens foutent avec des meubles? Pourquoi donner ces meubles à des chiens?
Mais non, les chiens, pour les chiens. Ils ont pas donné à des chiens chez meubles, il est parti avec.
Mais pourquoi vous dites qu'il les a donnés?
Mais j'ai jamais dit ça.
Pourquoi des chats? Vous m'avez dit des chiens.
Ah non?
Ah si, il m'a dit les meubles sont chez les chiens.
Ah d'accord. Ah non, j'ai dit les meubles chez les chiens.
Ah bah oui, c'est ce que je vous dis.
Les chiens à lui.
Ah les siens, pas les chiens. Les siens.
Ouais, les chiens, c'est ça.
Les chiens, les chats, putain, mais tout le monde parle comme vous ici.
Ah ben, chez Chimie, tout le monde y parle chimie. Hein. Il y en a même qui parlent flamand ici. Ah, il y a de flamand, c'est assez le vatanders, ça.
Ah bah je vais m'amuser moi.
French broadcasters, unlike those in Britain, still speak in identical metropolitan tones. Actually, a lot of TV shows in Britain, people keep their local accents, for example, like Liverpool accents, Manchester accents, or, you know, northern accents like those from Newcastle. Next paragraph, there are exceptions. For example, Interior Minister under President François Mitterrand kept his Provençal accent. So Provençal as an accent is the one which stems from Provence, as we mentioned just now. And President François Mitterrand was active between 1981 to 1995. I think that was quite a long time. François Bayrou, a centrist politician from the southwest, occasionally lets his filter through. So filter through means like it's coming out a little bit, but it's not just coming all out. Jean-Michel Afati, a broadcaster originally from the Pyrénées. So this is quite close to Spain already. So think about how Spanish people speak. When they speak Spanish, it's like they're singing. That's why people who originally come from that area, as we could see from Google Map, speaks with a very distinct accent. Given the backlash against the globalizing elite, an accent can in fact hint at a precious link to le terrain or local region. So le terrain actually means, you know, the ground. I could find an equivalent. It's like if you say this person is very down to earth, you could say un homme de terrain. So basically, if you have a local accent, maybe your people of different regions would feel like you're real, you're not that snobbery, you're not too far from them, so they can trust you. That's why it's a precious link to the people, to the local region, which may have helped Mr. Gastex, a high-flying technocrat, get the job. High-flying, which means he's very successful. Technocrat stems from technocracy, which means a state where people like engineers or scientists have the political power. The last paragraph, Parisians may now have to overcome their glottophobia. We also have other phobias, such as xenophobia. We could also say, oh, he's a xenophobe, or snobbery against regional accents.
Nous sommes donc ici en présence d'un scénario classique de discrimination linguistique appelé glottophobie. Cette phobie de l'accent se manifeste par la stigmatisation d'une personne à cause de son accent. Celui qui a un accent doit faire plus d'efforts qu'un Parisien pour paraître crédible. On le folklorise, dit le linguiste Médéric Gasquet-Cyrus.
I think such snobbery is quite condescending and not friendly at all. Also, the aim of speaking a foreign language is to communicate. It's not just to show off an accent. Well, actually, that's how I think. A law professor in Toulouse called the fuss, well, Toulouse, as I mentioned just now, is also in the southern part of France, called the fuss about Mr. Gastex's irritating, condescending Parisianism. So fuss, you could say, oh, he's too fussy. And you could also think about Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Basically, it means you're being all fussy about nothing. As for Mr. Gastex, when asked, as he inevitably was, he feigned, so he pretended surprise. I've got an accent, he asked, adding, I am proud of my accent. I am what I am. I completely agree with him because accent stems from the Latin word as in to sing. It's meant to sound nice. It's meant to be different from other people. If everyone speaks in identical tone, the world would be very dull and, boring. That's why I think he has a right to retain his accent. And now let's go to the summary time. Jean Castex, new Prime Minister of France, has been mocked over his regional accent. The truth is, few members of the Parisian elite retain their regional accents. However, exceptions such as Charles Basquiat, François Bayrou, Jean-Michel Alfati are all examples of people who are trying to hang on to their accent, perhaps to the aim of establishing a precious link to local people. Parisians now may have to overcome their glottophobia or snobbery against regional accents. After all, people who are sticking to their accents, such as Mr. Castex, are very proud of their accent, and they should be. So that's the end for this article, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Today's article is entitled Accent Grave. I mixed French and English.